Hey, this is Fred from Peavey Electronics, and I want to speak directly to the church install market. I started my career in a music store. We also did a lot of church installs, and I've crawled in a lot of attics and seen a lot of old audio systems in churches. And when we started designing the Aureus mixing console, we did so specifically with that environment in mind. And I'm going to tell you what we did to solve a lot of problems and make things a lot easier to mix and adjust audio in the church environment. Number one, we made it very, very easy to use. I think the most important thing when it comes to something as complicated as a digital mixer can be is to make it very, very simple. So a couple of features we incorporated, like the DCA function, which is kind of a volunteer mix. A lot of churches don't have dedicated sound reinforcement people, and they're not there all the time, and they have other functions in the church. So we've made it so you can get down to 4 faders. So somebody that doesn't know a lot about running audio can simply push the DCA button, and they have enough control to make the service happen without having to get into the weeds, so to speak. The other thing we did is we made this really nice touch screen so that somebody that knows something about audio or has run a mixer before will find it very, very quick to access any of the functions, because we have a lot of dedicated controls here on the surface. Almost any function is one touch away. Whether you want to adjust the EQ, all you do is have to press the EQ button. Whether you want to turn on and off the mute groups, all you have to do is press the mute groups. Whether you want to adjust the mute groups, select a particular channel, any of the functions work on the mixer, and they also work remotely. The other thing we did is make sure that personal monitor mixing is easy and built in the Aureus mixing console. So anyone that uses personal monitor mixing these days probably has their own in-ears or a separate small hotspot monitor somewhere on the church stage. So each of these individuals can now have their very own personal mix, including the pastor. So if the pastor wants to hear certain things in his monitor or his in-ears that the drummer or guitar player don't want to hear, all he has to do is connect his smart device to the mixer with a built-in router, and using his phone, smartphone or iOS or tablet, he can literally turn up and down any of the microphones or input sources and adjust his own mix individually. And you can do that up to 8 different mixes and have control of up to 10 different devices at the same time. Let's also talk about the tools in a digital mixer. A lot of churches have older audio systems in them. They have old analog boards, and they have outboard graphic EQs to adjust the audio and the environment. They have digital effect devices outboard. They've got USB connectors for computers that for streaming, and all of that is now built into this. So you can take a mountain of cables and rack gear and eliminate it and turn it into one device. Now, this device is intended for spaces that don't always have dedicated sound reinforcement positions. So a lot of these churches, when they were designed, audio wasn't the #1 priority, so they didn't have a mixing station where the audio engineer could hear what was going on stage. In a lot of cases, he's in a room in the back or up in the balcony or someplace that's not the best place to hear. So what was important to us is to allow remote mixing. So any sort of iOS device that can open up a browser, iOS or Android or any browser that's HTML5 compatible can connect to this mixer, and without any sort of app, control it. As you can see, as I move the controls on the iOS device here, it moves the controls on the mixer. What that does for a church is allow the sound engineer to go down and sit next to people that are actually listening to the service and make adjustments there, instead of making adjustments in a place where you really can't hear what's going on, and that can actually cause some problems. The other thing that we did is we put all the real tools necessary to run professional pro audio into this mixing console. So in many cases in older churches, it's not that the sound isn't right on stage, it's that they don't have the tools to adjust the sound for the environment that they're in. And so what we've done is we've added 5-band parametric EQs, graphic EQs inside it. We've added digital effects, everything you need to get pro audio in one box and an easy to use configuration with a modern touchscreen interface. And I think you'll find that if you're ready to upgrade your audio system in your church, that this is the solution, because we've taken a lot of time, made sure we've thought about it, and given you everything you need, nothing you don't, at really affordable price. So check out the Aureus digital mixer. We think you're going to be pleased with it. And if you got any more questions, visit Aureus at peavey.com or just give us a call and we'll walk you through it.